Yo, what's going on, people? Today I just want to share a little bit of my own personal journey, really, and how needing a kidney transplant has actually brought me a lot closer to God. Um, I mean, on the surface, it sounds a little bit strange, but it kind of makes sense, right? So, I got diagnosed with stage 4 chronic kidney disease June last year, so 6 or 7 months ago now, and yeah, I mean, it's certainly not ideal. I was 29 at the time, and you know, that it's not what you have planned for your life, you know. When I was a teenager, early 20s, if somebody had said to me, before you reach 30, you're gonna need a transplant, I would have laughed at them. Like, these things you just don't plan, do you? You never think that it's gonna happen to you, but you know, these things do happen to people. And I, unfortunately, I'm one of those people. So yeah, I got diagnosed with stage 4 kidney disease and told that basically I'm gonna have to have a kidney transplant. Hopefully, that's gonna be something that I have this year. Um, but yeah, it's strange, really, because the whole journey of being diagnosed and where I am today, it's crazy as it sounds, it's brought me way closer to God, and I think that's because now more than ever, I have to rely on him. It's easy to take life for granted, especially when you're young. Like, I took my life so much for granted during my 20s. I was doing drugs, going out all the time, like, just living as if life had no consequences, which it does, And yeah, like now I'm in a position where I really have to rely on God, you know. Um, I have to rely on, him actually getting me through this and him actually giving me comfort. Um, give me being in his presence, bringing his peace into my life. Like, these things I need from him now more than ever. And I remember when I was in hospital and I first initially got diagnosed. I got my Bible with me, and yeah, I went straight to Psalms. I went straight to the Psalms because they always bring me peace anyway. I always used to love going to the Psalms. There was something about it that just gave me peace, and I was just flicking through them, and then this Psalm just pierced my soul, like pierced my soul, and it was Psalm 30, verse 2. Um, my Lord, my God, I've cried to you for help, and you have healed me. And I thought, whoa, like that hit me, like I was thinking, I'm gonna tattoo that on my heart, you know. And I just kept saying it and saying it and saying it over and over again. And I still do now, like 6, 7 months later, I keep saying that psalm, repeating that psalm. And I believe one day I'm gonna be able to say that psalm with confidence, confidence in the fact that it's actually happened, you know. Now I'm saying it from a place that it hasn't actually happened yet, but I'm speaking it. I'm speaking that truth over my life, constantly reminding myself in the days where it is tough that I will be healed. I don't know how. Could be miraculous healing. More than likely, it is going to be a transplant. That's how I feel. And I think, and I believe that I will be healed and that I will be back to full health, God willing. I hope that's part of his plan, but I'm relying on him now. I'm relying on him to get me through this. Like, at the start, this this was something that I did not want to have to go through. You know, going through the kidney biopsies, that alone, I didn't want to have a big giant needle stabbed through my back straight into my kidneys. I didn't want that, like, and I was fucking scared, bro. Like, I did not enjoy that at all. And the funny thing about that is they fucked it up the first time, so then I had to go do it again the next day. So, I mean, that was rough. Just being in hospital, that alone, like, nobody wants to be in hospital. I'm 29. I valued my health and sort of my fitness so much throughout my life, and I'm surrounded by people that are far older than me, for starters, far more unhealthier. I mean, just physically looking at them, and I'm thinking, why am I here? Like, why am I in this position? Like, I've done I've done a lot of stupid shit in my life, don't get me wrong, but the past couple of years especially, I was really getting myself back together. I'd stopped smoking. Wasn't drinking. I mean, I'd just done a high rocks like 2 months before actually being in hospital, so I was in good nick, I was looking after myself and I was real healthy, but still, like, I'm laid there in the hospital room surrounded by these people that are sick, and I'm looking at them thinking, that's going to be me soon, and that is a scary feeling, like looking at across the room and seeing another man going through dialysis and thinking, wow, that's my future. I mean, thank God it's not happened yet. My kidneys are still operating at a level where I don't need dialysis. Um, Thank God, and I just pray that I never have to go through that, because honestly, it looks awful. And I'm very, very fortunate that we um, found that I needed a transplant early enough that we've been able to, like, kind of pump the brakes a little bit and try and slow it down. But it's been tough, and since getting out of hospital, every blood test I've had, my kidney function has come down every single time. Um, Having side effects from the tablets, like, these are things that I'm going through on a day-to-day basis now, and this is what I mean. Like, I really have to rely on God, like, because I can't do this by myself. Like, I need Him. I need to get through it. And just the whole experience, I find the greatest peace when I'm reading the Bible, when I'm praying, and when I'm speaking to God, and when I'm being honest and open and lamenting during prayer and being like, why me? What have I done? Why is this my story? Why am I having to go through this? Like, I'm straight up with God. I'm honest. I don't want this, but this is what is given me, like, this is the cross I have to bear. So, it's about handling it with grace and trying to get through it. And now I see it from a different perspective, and I think, you know what, this is my story, like, this is what God has put on me, and I'm gonna have to go through this. But how do I handle this now with the most grace? How do I show other people around me that, this is God getting me through this? It's how I act, how I handle the burden of carrying this cross, and doing it with grace and doing it with humility and being able to go through these really tough times that I'm having to go through. And yeah, I mean, it's not easy, you know. Anybody out there that's got any form of illness, um, it's not nice, you know. Like nobody wants to be ill. Nobody wants to be going through this, especially at a young age. Like it's not fun at all, right? Like it's not fun, but you know, now I see it a little bit differently, and I think, you know what, like if this is bringing me closer to God, and my relationship with God is benefiting because of that, and I can bring other people to start thinking about God because of how I handle it, then how is it really a negative? You know, yeah, I need a kidney transplant. Yeah, I need to have an operation. Like, yeah, I need to go through all these things, but look at the bigger picture, man. Like, if I can show people what Christ has done through me, you know, like, and affect the people's lives that are around me, then I ain't losing. Like, and I'm not just benefiting myself, but I'm benefiting the people that I love. And I think, you know what, like, that's worth it, you know? That's worth it. So, yeah, man, like, it's not what I wanted from life. I definitely would have chosen this. I would have avoided this at all costs. Um, and yeah, I'm not particularly happy that I have to walk through this road, but I'm honest with God as well. And I'm like, yeah, like, I don't like this. I do not enjoy this. But if that's the road that you want me to walk down, I'm going to walk down it. You know, as long as you're with me, as long as you're by my right hand, as long as you walk through that valley with me, what have I got to lose? You know, and it may get worse. It may may get a whole lot worse. You know, I might end up on dialysis. I might be a few years before I even get a transplant. Like, who knows what this journey is gonna hold? But you know, like, I just want to put that video out there just in case there's somebody watching that maybe, you know, just been diagnosed with something, an illness, and is kind of thinking like, what the fuck? Why me? Like all this. And you know what? It's fine to feel like that. Like it's fine to feel like that, and bring that to God, because He already knows our hearts anyway. So you may as well tell Him. That's how I think of it. But yeah, man, just wanted to be open, wanted to be honest. Um, and yeah, like I say, if I'm getting closer to God, if this needing a transplant is um, gonna bring salvation to those around me, that people then start looking to Christ, I've already won, bro.